All right, so I got to do this video in a way in which I'm in distress and maybe I'm looking in my car. So this is the convention center here. All right, the north and south halls here. All right, the new edition is across the street over here on Desert Inn. And I wanted to do a quick commentary, maybe 5 to 10 minutes on the CES, which was supposed to be held this week. And no CES, you can see in the parking lot right here, there's nobody there. And they're doing it pretty much virtually online. And to talk about that and also a little about Sheldon Anderson. I'll make a separate video about that, but for the most part, the CES and the impact that it's going to have on Las Vegas by not having it. So let's get on with this segment here. Let's do this. All right, folks, how we doing? So today is like 12 January 2020. I got about 1:45 p.m. So as you can see, this is the West Hall here. And again, I want to talk about the CES that's not being held at the convention center, but rather it'll be held virtually. So we end up losing about $500 billion all around here in Las Vegas. And just so you know, this is like the biggest event of the whole year as far as the conventions. So we'll have probably a total of about 180,000 here. I think this will put probably about 50 or 60,000 more people. So that'll probably be about 240,000 people, okay? And there will be more people at the Mandalay Bay and at the Sands here. I was losing my train of thought because they have some other shows like the SHOT Show and I forgot the other show that they have, but that it's like kind of like an overspill. But this building here, the West Convention Center, will probably suck in a lot of that traffic so they can use that those other conference halls to do something else. All right, I think that was the intent. Okay, so you got to see the east side halls, the north and south halls back on the opposite side here behind me. And right about now, you'll see a lot of people walking down here on Convention Center. Okay, you'll see a lot of people walking back and forth with their badges on. They'll be walking all the way down to Sands here about 1.5 miles away. And this place is like a ghost town here. I'm kind of heartbroken. So I did, as a Lyft driver, I did the CES 2017, 18, 19, and 20. Okay, right when this stuff was starting to come about around a year ago, you start hearing more and more profound talk about the coronavirus. So it may have been 180,000, but I probably surmise it was probably around 100,000. Okay, after all the talk and you started hearing about some of the borders closing in certain countries and all that. So people were starting to become more cautious. So we're running up like pretty much like on a year on all the talk about coronavirus and so forth. Okay, places being shut down, and like the first case here in Nevada, we're coming up real soon up a year. Time passes by fast, but it's been real painstaking at the same time. All right. So yeah, there's a lot of money to be made here if you do like a spin-off type business. Okay, sometimes they may have food trucks set up or other stuff that they do, especially like Lyft drivers and stuff. You know, if you do it during the day, all in the morning and during the day, but in the evenings, there's so many people out, you really can't even get down here. But they'll guarantee you a nice little surge or whatever, but even Lyft has went away with the surges. So I guess it's going to be interesting on how they're going to do it this year. They got virtual platforms and all that, Zoom, Google Meet. There's another one, I think it was like GU Meet. So they're trying out these platforms with the conventions and all that. So I don't know. We see how that go, but it does take away from your conventional service people here. Okay. I don't think there's any talk about any conventions, probably at least until like well into the spring. So we'll see what happens. I know they're supposed to have things like Concrete World, the AVM, which I won't get into that. I think it's the National Broadcasters Convention. That's right around like late March, early April. And you also have March Madness as well. So I took a girl on a lift ride here just recently that they're interviewing for March and all that. And I think a couple of casinos may open up around the end of March, like say for instance the Virgin, and I may get around to do a commentary on that once it opens. Okay, the last I heard about that was the late part of March or April, but there was talk maybe like 3 months ago about having it open in January, but it's just not enough tourism. So a lot of these remaining casinos that are still closed, it's just going to be based on the amount of tourism. And again, there just hadn't been enough people coming because there's been too many people out of work still. All right, but that's a topic for a different day here. So as you can see, there's nobody. Man, this place is like a ghost town, though. It's almost unbelievable to even see it. All right, so I'm going to get a part of the South Hall where the lift pickup area is. All right, but I want to talk a little bit about Sheldon Anderson. Actually, I was checking some other stuff out. Okay, and I want to give a shout out to Steve on not leaving Las Vegas. That he brought up the Sheldon Anderson that passed away, and it was a pretty interesting segment he made about Sheldon Anderson. As you know, that he was supposed to be the richest man here in the state of Nevada, but he was the owner and the CEO of the Venetian. Okay, they talk about this guy. He was 87 years old when he passed away. All right, lost a battle. I don't know what it was, what the disorder was. I don't want to give you any accurate information. All right, I didn't know the guy was that sick though, from what he was saying. But the guy was in this type of business, like tour service business, since like the 50s. And I guess he came here around the early to mid 80s with helping out or helping to promote this convention and so forth. And he ended up selling part of his stake, made something like, I understand, from what I understand, like $500 million. And he started getting into the casino real estate business. And in '99, that's when they opened up the Venetian. I always thought they opened it up around 2003, but they opened it up the Venetian, and which at the time was probably the hottest themed casino here in Las Vegas at the time. You know, he's been hurting for a minute, especially after what happened 12 years ago during the that house market crash and all that. But man, he was definitely the man. He was worth, I think, $1.5 billion. And he was right up there with Steve Wynn. They was pretty much like neck and neck. So, yeah, that's so much on that. So I'm going to move on to another part of the convention here with some final remarks. And rest in peace, Sheldon Anderson. Homage to all the contributions that you made here in Las Vegas. All right, so I just wanted to leave with you guys with this. This is the Bronze parking lot over at the convention center here. And as you can see, all these cars back there in the back there, they will be filled with like vans, like trucks and, different commercial equipment, distinguished guests and stuff like that during the CES. None of that's here this year, okay? And as you can see behind me at the South Halls, okay? Here, let me tilt it so, all right, nothing. All right, those will be full of people back there behind me. All right, a few hundred feet. All right, leaving in and out of the convention center. Okay, so as you can see, this is Sierra Vista. They'll have police over here, and they'll have these parking spaces over here marked off and stuff. It's usually about 45 to 50 of them. Okay, where people that they'll be filtering in and out of here all day, and you don't see any of that. Okay, so that's just something to leave you with here. It's really heartbreaking to see this, and I don't know, that guys, you guys are doing this gig work. You got to find other ways to make money this year, which is unfortunate. Maybe see if you can get your gig PUA there. If you don't have it, apply for it. Okay. I don't know if you have to find something. Find another way. Let's see what happens here next year. I think it'll be a lot more exciting. They'll make amends of that. All right. I don't know. I think that as far as technology-wise, and they'll have probably a more sophisticated system set in place based off, people that's been vaccinated and this and that, and I don't know. So we have to just wait and see what happens here. Maybe some of these stipulations will start getting let up in about, I don't know, 4 or 5 months. Conventions will come back. Okay, so I'll do more. I think I'll do more stuff like this because there's not much to talk about, including new projects there. I'll do a maybe series on that. All right, because a lot of the casinos that have been open, were supposed to open, has been opened up to this point. All right, there'll be more of that later this year. But if you like the video, feel free to subscribe, leave your comments, likes and shares, and check out some of my other videos. And thanks for watching, people.